see Dale Earnhardt, defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his fourth win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison second.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt. 7 laps to go. Earnhardt went on the grass.
Dale Earnhardt is reminding Mr. Elliott, you make one mess up like that, and I might get through.
When you come to North Wilkesboro on a short racetrack, you expect some fender to fender and even some paint trading going on out there. We've seen it already as Brett Bodine gave Jerry Cranmer a nudge in the rear end, and now we're seeing some great competition out there between Dale Earnhardt and Bill.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We are back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. And just as the field comes all around turn number 4, the sunshine peeks through, helping warm things here. Bill Elliott leads him down. Benny Parsons on the outside. The green flag flies, and the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead, and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. Oh, here we go. It's just about to go away. They bump coming out of turn 4. Earnhardt gets the lead. We had just heard from our spotters that Neil Martin. Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Welcome to Daytona International Speedway, where tonight the RFC Throwback Series takes center stage. Hello, everyone. I am Cody Early. Glad to be with you on this Tuesday night. A little bit of a delay, but we are ready to go for tonight's festivities. It is going to be a blast. We love these restrictor plate races, and believe it or not, we're down to our final 2 of the year, as it is one of the greatest series that I've been a part of. It's the RFC Throwback Series. Live from Daytona. Of course, it's presented by our friends at the Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company and Blackhawk Motorsports. Hello again and welcome. Of course, the final 2 races of the 2020 season this week at Daytona, and then there you see it next Tuesday night at the Talladega Championship Night 75-lap feature. That will make up the main event. Well, this is one of the most historic racetracks there is as you take a few looks around the world's center of racing, as they like to call it. We are going to get ready to go racing tonight for one of my favorite races of the year, Daytona under the lights. I hope you all are ready for a great evening. Qualifying wrapped up just a few moments ago, and there you see Joshua Spalding on top. His fastest time was a 44.73. So good to see Joshua Spalding up top. Brian Littleton, second quickest. You may be asking, where is Steve Baker? Well, there you see him slanted into the 6th spot. So a 6th spot for qualifying tonight for Steve Baker. And, of course, you know, the way restrictor plates work, that will probably not last very long. The countdown to green actually much shorter than being, just a few moments away. We're getting ready to count down, and we'll do that with your starting lineups. Coming up in moments, it's racing from Daytona right here on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network.
iRacing, you wanted the best. You got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back to Daytona. There you see cars on pit road getting ready to work around for their parade laps as we get ready to go racing here from Daytona. Ready to go, ready to, wrap up the 2020 season next week at Talladega. But before we get there, it's time to introduce you to the starting lineup for tonight. RFC Throwback Series Pepsi Firecracker 70, and it looks like this. Starting on the front row, it'll be Joshua Spalding in the 48 to his outside the 80 of Brian Littleton. Brian Mescal Jr. and his 33 AC Delco machine will start to the inside of the Tracker Boats number 1 of Stephen Page. Inside of row number 3, it'll be Chad Meadows in the 31, and his outside, the points leader and the 2020 RFC Throwback Series champion, Steve Baker. Inside of row number 4, it'll be the 43 of Mitchell Snare. To his outside of Muddy Water Racing, the Iron Man, Damon Cox. Inside of row number 5, it'll be the number 6 of Eric Blunt. And to his outside, the number 10 of Justin Walters in that 49. Doug Wasaki will roll off inside of row number 6. And we'll take a look outside of row number 6. That'll be the 25 of David Worrells. And wrapping up the field, it'll be the number 58 of Gary Ragland and the number 4 of Michael Macy-Gill. There you go. That wraps up the starting lineups. We are rolling. We are ready to go. Welcome to Daytona. There you get a good look just off the back straightaway at the field, getting ready to come to green, coming right to you as we get ready to fire things up here from the World Center of Racing. Excited, ready to go. Hope you are ready for a fun night of racing. There you see them on the back straightaway, the iRacing Ford Mustang Pace Car, 14 of the best RFC Throwback Series drivers, getting ready to come to you front and center here from the World Center of Racing. Ready to go with the final 2 races of the 2020 season. Tonight, we'll put 70 laps up on the board as we get ready to fire things up. Hope you're ready for a fun night as we talk about stacking them up 2 by 2. Could see that all the way around this racetrack for multiple laps. So if you like the restrictor plating feel, well, you're in for a treat tonight. Here we go, getting ready to creep off of turn number 4. 14 of the best in the RFC Throwback Series. We stack them up 2 by 2. The iRacing Ford Mustang Pace Car going to get ready to head towards pit road as we get ready to fire things up. There you get a good view as Joshua Spalding, Brian Littleton on the loud pedal. And here we go from Daytona. Green flag is in the air. There you see still 2 by 2 all the way back through the field. Looks like some difficulty there. I was looking to the outside. Justin Walters having some trouble right now. It's Joshua Spalding. He is off to the early lead. Spalding to his backside. That is Brian Mescal Jr. as they drag race down the back straightaway. Brian Littleton to the outside. Good run there from Chad Meadows. He'll pull up on the inside. Mitchell Snare working that bottom line as well as they go into turn 3. Pack racing, that will be most of the night. As there you get a good look as there's Steve Baker making a bold move off of turn 4. He's going to go to the bottom, and it's going to be Joshua Spalding showing the way on lap 1 in that 48 Lowe's machine. Spalding out of Daytona Beach, Florida, a home race for that guy. Right now he leads lap 1. He's got Brian Mescal Jr. in tow. So is the rest of our 13 competitors following that 48 machine. As lap number 2 starts to work, there you see a good battle. Mitchell Snare just inside of Brian Littleton. That 43 machine, of course, earlier this year, Mitchell Snare, a big winner at Bristol. We talked about that last week, as there you see Brian Mescal Jr. pulling up to the back bumper of that 48. A couple of good-looking Chevrolets there. That 31 of Chad Meadows, he's going to go to the bottom. Looks like the 33 machine, or 31 rather, is going to try and go for second. He will. Mitchell Snare's in tow as they come around to make lap 3 complete. Lap 3 now in the books as we watch these cars. The whole field setting here running pretty much in one big cluster. There you see that 57 of Damon Cox. He's making his way up. He is into the 8th position. Coming down the back straightaway here from Daytona. 14 competitors all in tow. There's Darkside Dave. Yeah, glad to see Dave getting out of the cave, doing a little bit of racing with us as we watch these drivers get ready to come off of turn number 4. 3 laps in the books. Coming to lap 4, we'll give you a good look down right on the Daytona International Speedway. Check this out as they come to you to complete lap 4. Great look as the field makes its way through and on their way into turn 1. Still, everybody, and the caution flag is out. Caution flag has come out here on lap 4. If we can't find out exactly what might have happened, looks like Michael Mason-Gill might have been involved in our opening crash. We'll go back and look. Oh, there is Mason-Gill down on the apron and then up against the outside retaining wall. See if we can't get a better look at that. Oh, looks like that car just kind of whipped around. That Mission 22, number 4 machine, just kind of whipped around, and around he went in 3 and 4 with some hard contact to the wall. So we'll see if possibly they can get to pit road and get that aerodynamics fixed on that number 4 machine. But Mike Mason-Gill is going to bring out our very first caution here from Daytona. Hopefully he'll be able to get that machine tuned back up. But in the meantime, we are going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the RFC Throwback Series on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome back to Daytona. There you see Michael Mason-Gill on pit road, the result of our first caution that has came out here at Daytona International Speedway. It's the Pepsi Firecracker 70. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Only 6 laps complete of our 70 that will make up our feature this evening. You take a good look there at Dark Side Dave coming on the back straightaway as he whirls out. Right now, looks like he very well may be the leader when we get ready to go back racing as he gets behind the iRacing pace car. Good look across the infield here at Daytona International Speedway. I got all of our cameras synced up just yet, so we'll get you the best that we can here on a Tuesday night. Once again, if you have the opportunity to like and share the Turn 3 Racing Network, make sure you do that. And, of course, as always, we thank our sponsors, Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company, commercial and industrial roofing. They can do everything you need. You can check them out on Facebook. And, of course, our good friends at Blackhawk Motorsports, Michael Mason-Gill and his team. Of course, Katie Osmond, Dustin Pink, Chris Berg, Brian Snare, all great parts of this series. And, of course, we've had some fun this year, had some great racing. Of course, just last week, Pocono, exciting race last week. Joshua Spalding was able to go to victory lane. 2 races to go. Points-wise, well, you could kind of say that the points have been somewhat decided. And I say that very comfortably with the way Steve Baker has handled this 2020 season, getting the most wins on the tour. And we'll see if possibly he can end 2020 with an exclamation point. There you see the field still intact. Looks like we didn't lose anybody after that wreck with Michael Mason-Gill. Gary Ragland was having some issues there, so hopefully we'll get that squared away. But here we go, 7 laps in, 70 to make up our feature this evening here from Daytona. Last time we were here, Steve Baker went to victory lane. Of course, that was in the daytime, so we'll see if the evening makes anything any different. There's a good look off of the hood of that Dark Side Dave machine. Love that. Always enjoy working with Dave whenever we get the opportunity. There you see the full field coming down the back straightaway. It'll be David Worrells, Mitchell Snare, Eric Blunt, Joshua Spalding, the front 2 rows, Ryan Mescal Jr., Steve Baker right there. Get a good look at that 33 AC Delco machine. He'll be in row number 3. And, of course, to his outside, Steve Baker there in the 55 as the iRacing pace car rolls towards turns 3 and 4. We get ready to go back racing here on a Tuesday night. We appreciate you hanging out with us, giving us a little bit of your time tonight. I'm seeing some folks hop on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you taking the time to get on here tonight. As there you see the cars rolling off of turn 4. We get ready to go back to racing, getting ready to green flag. And maybe why don't we just reach down there and just see what kind of sounds we can get. Let's crank it up. There you go, a good feel of what is going on out there on the racetrack with a good crank it up. 10 laps in the books now, 60 to go. Joshua Spalding, last week's winner. He has emerged, and check out, oh, in trouble. Trouble, it looked like Chad Meadows. And I want to say possibly David Worrell's got together. The caution flag has came out. There you see that 31 machine turned around there off of turn number 2. Not sure, and there's Damon Cox around as well, so not sure possibly what got that started. We'll take another look. There you see Chad Meadows, the yellow car on the high side. Oh, it just looks like he came down too much. Oh, Dark Side Dave just simply got into that left rear fender, and the 31 car and the 25 make contact, and that is what is going to bring out the caution. Let's see if we could take another look. Go inside of the 31 machine. He fades down. And then, yeah, you can see there just that contact from David Worrells. We'll see if we can't check that one more time. Go back to our Turn 3 Racing Network replay. This is the 25. This is Worrells' view. Yeah, and he comes down. Oh, and a little bit of a bobble there. Don't know if maybe the air might have played a factor in that, but needless to say, that has brought out our caution. And we will see if any takers decide to come to pit road. But with that, we will take advantage of another opportunity to pay some bills. We appreciate you spending some time with us here on a Tuesday night. We got more racing coming up from Daytona right here on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network.
There you see Dale Earnhardt, defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his 4th win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
There may be a little more here underneath the sheet metal.
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we've got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison second.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes inside. And Earnhardt still got the lead. Incredible. Decent driving by Earnhardt. 7 laps to go. Earnhardt went on the grass.
Dale Earnhardt is reminding Mr. Elliott, you make one mess up like that, and I might get through.
When you come to North Wilkesboro on a short racetrack, you expect some fender to fender and even some paint trading going on out there. We've seen it already as Brett Bodine gave Jerry Cranmer a nod to the rear end, and now we're seeing some great competition out there between Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott.
Daytona, yeah, we get ready to go racing. Taking a look at the field. There we go. Coming into the trioval. Green flag is back out here from Daytona. Already 14 laps in. Mitchell Snare, Joshua Spalding, they are the 2 out front. Taking a look at them coming into your living room right there. Check out that awesome camera view. Steve Baker's going to go to the bumper of that 48 machine. Looks like he's going to push the 48 to the point. Stephen Page on the outside getting a little bit of a run as they come down the back straightaway. Getting a good look off the nose of that 48. Hearing all that horsepower go to work right down into turn 3. There you see Brian Mesquil Jr. on the outside. Stephen Page is sucked right into that 3rd spot. Mitchell Snare behind him. Coming through the trioval. Going to put lap 15 in the books this time by. You see Page down there on the bottom. Mitchell Snare to his inside. Brian Mesquil Jr. now. He's getting some help on that outside from Littleton. Littleton and Mesquil Jr. there. Working to the high side. Here comes Eric Blunt. Eric Blunt, he works to the bottom. He's coming to the top 5. Just off into the distance there, I see Doug Wasaki, Damon Cox as well. And there is Chad Meadows rallying from that incident just a few moments ago, so we'll see if he's able to get back up through the field. But right now, trouble there with Mitchell Snare, hard into the outside retaining wall and around into the infield. Will it bring out a yellow? Nothing yet. RFC officials have yet to throw the yellow flag. There you see him rolling just gently off of turn 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to get back up to the apron. No caution as of yet, so Mitchell Snare limping that car, and here comes the lead pack down the back straightaway, so not sure what might have caused that. We'll see if we can't go back and get a Turn 3 Racing Network replay. No, it looks like we missed that one just by a few moments. We'll try another one. There he is to the outside, it looks like, of Stephen Page. Oh, and he just limped it and then overcorrected it. Overcorrected that car, so that's going to put Mitchell Snare into the pits. And there's the yellow. Caution flag has come out. Caution flag has come out. As there you see the iRacing pace car, and they're telling me in my headset that this was another incident. So we'll take a look. There is Chad Meadows. Oh, and Eric Blunt looks like he was loose. Oh, and Meadows had nowhere to go. There you see the aftermath. That's 2 incidents that 31 machine has been collected up in. We'll see if we can't get a look from Eric Blunt's point of view. Yeah, not really sure. Man, oh man, what a wild ride. Eric Blunt there, a wild ride for sure. Off of turn number 4. Oh, and a little contact. Looked like he might have got that car drove down into Littleton. Littleton was able to hold his ground, but there you see those hard contact off of turn 4. So it looks like that will bring the yellow flag back out. Joshua Spalding continues to show the way. In tow, Steve Baker, as we continue from Daytona. It's the Turn 3 Racing Network's coverage of the RFC Throwback Series.
Your calendars for one of the most exciting side-by-side racing events you'll ever see. NASCAR K&N Pro Series Visit Hampton, Virginia 175 rolls into Langley Speedway Saturday, June 23rd. Gates open at 1 p.m. Autographs at 5 and racing begins at 7. Catch Travis Pastrana, Sergio Pena, Chase Elliott, Darrell Wallace, Corey LaJoy, local favorite Brandon Godovic, and more. For ticket information, go to langley-speedway.com. The NASCAR Visit Hampton, Virginia 175. Catch more information by calling 865-RACE.
Langley Speedway, where legends are born.
We are back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. And just as the field comes all around turn number 4, the sunshine peeks through, helping warm things here. Bill Elliott leads him down. Benny Parsons on the outside. The green flag flies, and the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead, and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. Oh, here we go. It's just about to go away. They both coming out of turn 4. Earnhardt gets the lead. We had just heard from our spotters that Neil Ryan. Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Welcome back to Daytona as the field starts to stack back up after that latest incident featuring Eric Blunt and Chad Meadows. Looks like we are going to start to get things shaped back up and get ready to go back green. 19 of our 70 laps complete. Looking to put lap number 20 up on the board. This time by, well, the guys that battled it out a week ago, they are getting ready to possibly do it again. There you see the 48 of Joshua Spalding, the 55 of Steve Baker, working down the back straightaway. Good look onto that back straightaway here from our Turn 3 Racing Network view as we get ready to go back racing. We've had plenty of pit stops, so fuel strategy right now. doesn't seem like it's going to be a big factor. As there you take a look. The Pepsi Firecracker 70 here at Daytona, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. Blackhawk Motorsports right here in our proud presentation of the RFC Throwback Series. Only 2 races left. Next Tuesday, we'll do it again from Talladega. All right, stacking them up 2 by 2. Lights are out on the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car. Like there, Damon Cox has crawled into the top 5. Good to see him up there. Gary Ragland, after that early incident, had him way back in the field. Looks like he's going to roll off outside of row 3 in the 6th spot. So it looks like they are going to come rolling towards the tri-oval. We'll look for that iRacing pace car to head towards pit road, and we get ready to go back racing here from Daytona. Green flag is back out. We are underway as they stack up 2 by 2. Joshua Spalding, Steve Baker lead the train into turn 1. Looks like everybody's going to the bottom. Baker's going to squeeze in. What a move. Baker just dropped behind that 48 machine, and that's going to leave Brian Mescal Jr., the lone man, out. Or will his good buddy Damon Cox let him come down? I think he's given him plenty of room. We'll see if Mescal Jr. is able to take advantage of that gap. He does, and now all the drivers go to the bottom. And as I say that, Steve Baker floats up. Mescal Jr. goes back to the high side. So we start to see that line forming on the bottom of the racetrack off of turn number 4. They'll come to the stripe this time, putting lap number 21 in the books. Get a good view as they whip under us here on the front straightaway. This beautiful racetrack here at Daytona. Brian Mescal Jr., Damon Cox working to the high side there. We see them. And of course, there's a good guy that I like to talk about from time to time. Absolutely love the paint scheme. Doug Wasaki, what do you say we go inside of that 34 machine? A good look. Love the neon green, especially at night. See just how much of a handful these cars are as they fight off of turn number 4. Coming right to you here on the front straightaway, Doug Wasaki. Right there, Brian Littleton. And Brian Mescal Jr. looks like he is the driver that is paying the price right now. He's been out there on the outside. Mitchell Snare started to go back up there where he was at. But it looks like he may drop down in line as well, as we have 22 laps in the books. Once again, wherever you're watching from on the Turn 3 Racing Network, we appreciate you joining us here on this Tuesday night, the second to last race of the RFC Throwback Series finale, presented by our friends at Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports. Look there, Stephen Page. Page making a run. We talked about him a little earlier. We'll go inside of that number 1 Tracker Boats machine as he fights for the lead with Steve Baker. Oh, Page coming through the tri-oval, maybe looking to lead his first laps of the series. He's going to have to get by the number 1 man in the points, and right now Joshua Spalding looks like he's going to stay in tow and help out the points leader, but Page isn't going away. Good look there off the nose as they head towards turn 3. They're going to drop back down in front of that 1 machine, and here comes Damon Cox. He's climbed up to 4th. Love to see the Iron Man pull off a good victory here tonight from Daytona. That'd be fitting. He's had somewhat of an up-and-down year for sure. Got to give a shout-out to JRS Racing. They've commented on there as well, so thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. As lap 24 now in the books as we work around the Daytona International Speedway here on a Tuesday evening. It's the RFC Throwback Series roaring to life here in our second to last race of the season, the Pepsi Firecracker 400. Now we start to see a little 2x2 racing on the back straightaway. Front 4 going to go at it into turn 3. Front 4 now. Can Brian Littleton, Doug Wasaki, and Mitchell Snare get there as we've have somewhat of a breakaway? The top 8 cars have pulled away. You have to go a little ways back to find Gary Ragland, Michael Mason-Gill, and the rest of the field. But right now, Damon Cox, whoa, see him get wide through the tri-oval, and he'll go to the high side. Brian Littleton now starting to close in as now the field. Oh, and Mitchell Snare once again, trouble for that 43. He's up and into the outside retaining wall. Not sure if there was a little bit of contact there, but that 43 machine just kind of moseyed up to the top. Brian Littleton now going to help Damon Cox down the back straightaway. There's a good look at that number 1 tracker boat machine of Stephen Page. Page out of Sanford, North Carolina. And out of turn number 4, we still continue to see the top 7 drivers work together as Joshua Spalding and Steve Baker continue to log laps as lap 26 goes on the board here from Daytona. A couple of early cautions. And everybody kind of comfortable. I'll say everybody's kind of comfortable right now as far as fuel mileage goes. Oh, Damon Cox and Doug Wasaki. A little bit of a moment there for both of those drivers as they come down the back straightaway. Continuing to see those guys battle side by side into turn 3. Washing up as Damon Cox and Brian Mescal Jr. Going to be friendly about it and allow his teammate to come in. And there you see that battle for the lead start to heat up. Baker and Joshua Spalding coming into your living room through the front straightaway. Spalding and Baker somewhat going back and forth. And Brian Littleton says, hey, if you don't mind me, I would like to join. At number 80 of Brian Littleton sitting there lurking in that 3rd spot. 27 in of our 70 to make up the feature. Littleton's going to have a really good run off of turn number 3. He'll go to the high side. He's going to have that momentum. What can he do with it heading towards turn 3? Not a lot. Oh, and Baker gets a little wobbly there as they come right into your living room here at the start-finish line at the Daytona. Oh, and Damon Cox hard up into that outside retaining wall. We talk about how these cars are a handful from time to time, and it doesn't take much. And, man, Brian Mescal Jr., where did he come from? He's got Brian Littleton on the high side, and that 33 AC Delco machine coming to lap 29 is up to 2nd. Big run by those 2 Chevrolets. They blast past the Ford of Steve Baker. And Brian Mescal Jr. wasn't happy with 2nd. He's going to go all the way to the point. We'll see if he can come to the line and lead lap number 29 here from Daytona. Out of turn number 4 and into the trial, it's going to be Mescal Jr. No, it's going to be Littleton. We'll see at the stripe. Littleton nudges him out by about 0.5 of a second. 0.5 of a second now. Now Stephen Page is the guy on the outside, but for the moment, Brian Littleton out front. Brian, of course, from Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, in the Diabetes Awareness number 80 machine. Michelob Ultra. There you see a little bit of a shot. Let's go inside of that 33 of Brian Mescal Jr. as he follows Littleton around the racetrack. Really good look there at the back bumper of Brian Littleton, and man, oh man, Brian Mescal Jr. not giving him any slack, even though they are somewhat teammates in the series. Brian Mescal Jr. is going to go to the point, and he has got a host of cars pushing him on that bottom lane, including Steve Baker and Joshua Spalding. That's possibly going to kick Littleton out of the point. And, man, Steve Baker made a big move into 3. He's going to possibly go back to the lead coming off of turn 4. He's got the momentum. He's got drafting help, and it looks like he will do just that. Joshua Spalding is going to push Steve Baker back out to the point. Lap 31 in the books. 31 of our 70 here at Daytona as the top 2 continue to start to pull away now. Brian Littleton about 2 car lengths back, but I'm telling you, the 48 and the 55 have been working so well together. Of course, combined, these 2 have won the last 4 races. You have to go all the way back to October 13th when Mitchell Snare went to victory lane at Bristol to be the only different driver. Charlotte, it was Spalding. Dover, it was Baker. And last week at Pocono, it was Spalding. So somebody trying to ruin the party, and, man, Spalding's going to try to beat Baker to the line. Can he do it? No, he cannot. Steve Baker is going to get credit for leading that lap. Brian Littleton sucks back in, and here comes Wasaki and Stephen Page. They're trying to get right back into the mix. continuing to see these drivers work around Daytona. We'll take a look through your top 10. There's Joshua Spalding in the 48, Brian Littleton in the 80, Steve Baker there in the 55, Brian Maskell Jr. in the 33, Stephen Page in the 1, the 34 of Doug Wasaki currently in 6th. 7th place is Damon Cox. 8th place, way back there, is Mitchell Snare in that 8th spot. Michael Mason-Gill in the 9th spot, rounding out the top 10. That is Gary Ragland in that 58 machine. Someone off the pace with some trouble early. Looks like we have had some cars go to the garage. Eric Blunt and David Worrells have called it a night. And there, Brian Maskell Jr. up into that outside retaining wall just a little going into turn 3. Joshua Spalding and the leaders looks like they are coming up on the back bumper of the 31 of Chad Meadows. So Chad Meadows going to go a lap down. And we continue to see laps tick away. Lap 33 coming to an end this time by Spalding, Baker, Littleton showing the way here at Daytona. Green Flag Racing for the world's center of racing on your home for everything E-Speed, the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more from Daytona.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
There you see the top 2 drivers at the moment. That is Joshua Spalding. That is Steve Baker coming to the line this time by, as it will be lap 36. And it looks like we're going to see some action heading towards pit road. Damon Cox, Brian Littleton, and Brian Maskell Jr. going to hit pit road. Going to start to get some service as we start to see possibly some green flag pit stops. We'll see how things shake out as Joshua Spalding and Steve Baker stay out on the racetrack. So interesting to see what possible scenarios we see unfold, as right now Doug Wasaki and Stephen Page, they have stayed out on the racetrack as well. Of course, Doug in the Falcon Motorsports stable. That beautiful 34 machine. We'll see if we get any of our top 4 to pit road this time. Looks like Baker and Spalding come off of turn 4. Are they going to make the pit road jump? They will, and they're going to bring in Wasaki and Page as well. So green flag pit stops officially underway for the entire field. We'll see how things will play out over the next few laps, as we have lap 38 in the books now. Looks like when things do shape back out, it's going to be Brian Littleton, Damon Cox, and Brian Maskell Jr. should regain the lead when things come back out, as there you see them now starting to come up to speed on the back straightaway. Good look. And I was looking, yeah, you could see inside of Brian Maskell Jr.'s car there. Not sure why the rotors are glowing. Typically don't use that much brake here at Daytona, but definitely seeing the brake rotors glowing there on the 33 car down the back straightaway. Needless to say, lap 39 going to go in the books this time by as Littleton and Mescal Jr. cross the stripe here at Daytona. But for the most part, it is Doug Wasaki that is showing the way. There you see that 34 machine as of right now. He is scoring first. That there second. And third place, Joshua Spalding. So we'll see once Doug Wasaki gets back up to full speed. We'll see how things will shake out here in the next few laps. Coming to lap 39 this time by that 34 of Doug Wasaki. Looks like Gary Ragland is going to bring his 58 machine to the pit road. No, he's going to pull down to the bottom and allow Doug to go by. So the 34 of Doug Wasaki out of Belleville, Michigan, in the Samantha Ride for Liver Awareness has the lead for the moment. Second place right there. Second and third, actually. Steve Baker in that 55 machine. Steve out of Raleigh, North Carolina, the Autism Speaks. Number 55, and then, of course, the hometown boy, I guess you could say. That is Joshua Spalding, and from Daytona Beach, Florida, in the Florida Hurricane Relief 48 Lowe's machine, and they are starting to close. There you see Doug Wasaki. I think if you're Doug, you want to try to at least catch on to the tail end of these two because they are coming in a hurry off of turn 4. Coming down the back straightaway, top 3 right there under a blanket as they cruise down to the bottom of the racetrack in turn 3. Doug Wasaki there in tow, so best thing for him is try to stay with these top 2 in the draft. Out of turn 4, coming to put lap number 41 on the board as they're going to roll through the tri-oval. Top 3 coming at you right there in your living room. Needless to say, if Doug can try to keep in tow, going to be a great possible finish for that 34 machine if he can keep these two guys right here in track. And I'm telling you, they have worked together all evening long. That is Steve Baker and Joshua Spalding. There you see them locking bumpers. No rules against the tandem drafting here in the RFC Throwback Series. Of course, these cars themselves a handful. Not sure how working stuck together works. Of course, these cars weigh anywhere, 3,700 pounds anywhere. Oh, and the caution flag has flown. Caution flag comes out in the corner of my eye as they cross the stripe for lap number 42. We'll go to our Turn 3 Racing Network replay and see what might have happened. I don't think anything happened with our leaders. See if possibly we can find what might have happened. Oh, and it looks like Doug Wasaki. It took us a minute there to possibly find what might have happened, but let's go back and look. Doug Wasaki. Oh, and he was down on the apron. Not sure what caused that car. It might have just gotten loose on him in 3 and 4, but a hard hit to the outside retaining wall in our third place running car. Doug Wasaki slams the outside retaining wall in turn 3 and 4, and that is going to bring the yellow back out here at Daytona. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more. It is the RFC Throwback Series, Pepsi Firecracker 70 from Daytona.
of the most exciting side-by-side racing events you'll ever see. The NASCAR K&N Pro Series Visit Hampton, Virginia 175 rolls into Langley Speedway Saturday, June 23rd. Gates open at 1 p.m. Autographs at 5. And racing begins at 7. Catch Travis Pastrana, Sergio Pena, Chase Elliott, Darrell Wallace, Corey LaJoie, local favorite Brandon Godovic, and more. For ticket information, go to langley-speedway.com. The NASCAR Visit Hampton, Virginia 175. Catch more information by calling 865-RACE.
Langley Speedway, where legends are born.
Welcome back to Daytona as we are under caution, and as you see, the lights are out on the iRacing Ford Mustang pace car. We're getting ready to go back to green as we have had multiple cautions, multiple single car incidents. That is the good thing. We have had a couple of two-car incidents, but right now Joshua Spalding and Steve Baker have continued to show the way. Believe it or not, with that caution coming out, Doug Wasaki, he is going to regroup and go back to fourth thanks to a really good pit stop. So that team going to get Doug back in really good shape as we get ready. You see the field there moving into turns 3 and 4, working their way towards us, of course, right here. Daytona Beach, Florida. So glad to have you. Second to last race of the finale of the 2020 RFC Throwback Series. It has been a blast. We've had some exciting racing this year, and the top two guys right now have been the top two drivers for the last month or so. I mentioned you have to go all the way back to the 13th of October to find somebody else going to victory lane other than these two. So it'll be Baker, it'll be Spalding getting ready to come into your living room. Green flag back out here at Daytona. 2 by 2, 3 rows deep. Then you got Brian Littleton on the bottom. We'll see if they start to fan out any going into 3 and 4. Still 2 by 2. Spalding and Baker, look for them to possibly get together. I don't think Brian Mescal Jr. is going to allow Baker to go to the bottom. Here they come down the back straightaway. It's Mescal Jr. He's going to force the hand of Baker, and there they come right into your living room. 3 wide almost to the back. Now Baker's going to get the momentum. He's going to dive down in front of Spalding. Spalding generous enough to give him the bottom. Now Stephen Page. Can he help get Brian Mescal Jr. to the front? Coming to 25 laps to go. 25 circuits left here from the Daytona International Speedway. Brian Mescal Jr., Stephen Page, Mitchell Snare trying to make the high side work. You've got Doug Wasaki and Brian Littleton on the bottom with Stephen Page and Joshua Spalding. 25 circuits left here from Daytona. $25 laps to go. Still side by side there. Brian Mescal Jr. He has been able to get to the front. He's just had nobody to help him at all as he swings up high to the outside. Out of turn 4, coming to the stripe now. Still single file. Brian Mescal Jr. is just going to take the low line, and he is going to jump to the bottom of the racetrack. Stephen Page gladly in fourth. Now Wasaki's got a little bit of pressure now as they roll into 3 and 4, coming right into your living room here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Down the long back straightaway, top 3 right there running together. They have really been the best 3 cars of the evening. And Stephen Page, how about a shout out to that number 1 machine? Page out of Sanford, North Carolina in the American Heart Association number 1 Tracker Boats. Love seeing him run good. He's had a up and down season to say the least, but right now in that 4th spot, he's got a really good line of cars behind him. See if possibly he's be able to get up there and make something happen with the top 3. I just got that feeling that Brian Mescal Jr. is not just going to ride there. I feel like he is going to have to shake things up over the next few laps. Not going to allow Spalding and Baker to sit there and ride smooth, but as I say that, he's going to have some help. I was looking into that second group. Brian Littleton, he will gladly get up there and help, and Damon Cox, if he's able to get that 51 machine or that 57 machine to the front, he'll help. Right now, he's stuck behind Mitchell Snare. But the top 3 showing the way here at Daytona. 22 laps to go. Brian Mescal Jr. knows that Spalding and Baker are working together. He's going to have to hopefully stay in line with them, but I got to think if he gets the opportunity, you would think he's going to have to shove Spalding and not allow him to get comfortable. And now it looks like Mescal Jr. is going to go to the bottom. I believe he's going to have a nose in. It's going to be Mescal Jr. shaking up the party at the front. All over the back bumper of the 55 machine, you could see them rubbing. Oh, and around goes Baker. Baker's going to go spinning off of turn 4, off of the nose of Brian Mescal Jr. No caution flag yet. He keeps it on the racetrack. He keeps it on the racetrack, and as that happens, Spalding will gain the lead. Page second, Mescal Jr., he's dropped all the way back to 6th. Man, oh man, you could see that off of turn 4. They were banging, and what a save. Steve Baker looped it around off of turn 4 and was able to turn that car back around, and we have stayed green, and that's going to put Joshua Spalding to the point, but a whole new group in your top 3 right now. It's Spalding, Littleton, Page, then Wasaki. Mescal Jr. looks like he's going to regroup. He's found Damon Cox back there. That is 6th and 7th. But right now the battle looks like it is for 3rd. The battle for 3rd. Now, Mitchell Snare, where did he come from? We went talking about him a few moments ago being in the top 4. Now he's found himself right there smoothly as Brian Littleton's got a huge run off of turn 2. He's going to go to the bottom. It looks like he's going to take advantage of that run. Him and Stephen Page are going to the front. Littleton, Page, Snare, Wasaki, wide just a little there off of turn 4. And now Joshua Spalding, his drafting partner, Steve Baker. There you see him way back in turn 4. Don't know that he's going to be a factor unless he can catch some lap traffic. Oh, a lot of blocking going on. Let's go down there inside of that 33 of Brian Mescal Jr. Seeing exactly what he's seeing right now. Intensity picking up as we've got coming to 18 to go. 18 laps to go. Mescal Jr. works to the outside of Doug Wasaki down the back straightaway. And a good run of momentum there for Brian into turn 3. Goes to the high side again. I feel like he's been okay as far as getting to the high side, but he's had nobody to help him. Mescal makes the power move. He's going to jump up into 4th. Stephen Page, Mitchell Snare, and Mescal Jr. is not satisfied. He's going for more. He's going to go to the high side. Littleton's going to peek out just a little, but he's going to have to get back down. No, he's not going to be able to. Stephen Page, here goes that number 1 machine. He is going to go to the point. First time this year we've seen that number 1 car out of turn 2 take the lead. And he has got some help from that 43 of Mitchell Snare out of Fincastle, Virginia. The Victory Junction Mission 22 Lucky Finn machine on the bottom, working the way, coming to 17 laps to go. 17 to go here from Daytona. It's the RFC Throwback Series Pepsi Firecracker 70, second to last race of the season. As far as points goes, Stephen Page is more than likely going to be your points champion as the season has continued to wind down. What a race season he's had. 5 wins in the 9 starts. Can't do much better than that. Has a huge advantage coming in to this event. 37 points ahead of Dustin German, and German actually not on the racetrack tonight. So that could very well increase, but take a look at this gander coming off of turn 4. Here they come into your living room. Top 4, stacked them up 2 by 2. Page on the bottom, Littleton up top, Mitchell Snare 3rd. He's going to go behind Brian Mescal Jr. They are going to leave Stephen Page on the bottom by himself. Not sure what might have led to that, but looks like Snare is going to stay outside. Mescal's going to give Littleton a little shot down the back straightaway. Better look there as they come into turn number 3. Looks like that racing groove has started to move up just a little, and I was taking a look, maybe pit strategy. All these drivers, 12 laps on these tires and this fuel. Oh, and Mescal Jr. makes a move to the inside, not able to punch a hole in the air. Not enough, shall I say, as Mitchell Snare. Give him an opportunity. He'll get up there and make things interesting. This young rookie has already made an impact in this 2020 season. Can he do anything at the moment right now? Down the back straightaway, continuing to see these drivers. Single file, the top four, Stephen Page, and here comes Doug Wasaki, and Wasaki looks like he's got some help from guess who? Joshua Spalding, who has started to make an impact, and there you see Steve Baker was trying to find him on our screen coming through turns 3 and 4, all the way back in 8th right now, out of contention, but nobody in this group right here is out of contention just yet, as Brian Littleton, he drops to the bottom. Stephen Page will pick him up. Now put Brian Mescal Jr. and Mitchell Snare, well, for the moment, to the point, but that's not going to last for long. 2 by 2 once again for the top 4 spots. They've been like this, I would say, for the last 6 or 7 laps. And coming to 14 to go, I don't think that's going to slow down any. But for right now, Mescal Jr. has the advantage. Oh, and a big bobble there from the 33. He dips down as you see them work across the bottom of the racetrack. Going to get ready to come right into your living room down the front straightaway. Top 4 just can't get away from each other. And I'll tell you what, Joshua Spalding is getting ready to make things interesting. I feel like if he can get up there, you're going to take a look at maybe the top 7 could very well be there. Oh, and Mescal Jr. sucks down to the inside of Stephen Page. Page now, he's been so close to getting to the front in this race. He actually had a nose out earlier in the race, but not able to just simply get the point on his own. With 13 laps to go, you got to be wondering, what are these drivers thinking? Are we good to go on fuel? Are we good to go on tires? If we don't see these guys come in here in the next couple laps, I got to think you've got what you've got here for the rest of the way, as now 12 laps to go. 12 laps to go, side by side once again, and Joshua Spalding becomes the 4th driver in line. Spalding, who dropped back when Steve Baker had his trouble, has now rallied back. He is on the outside out of Daytona Beach, Florida. He's going to make things interesting. He's going to go to the bumper of that 33 machine of Brian Mescal Jr. down the back straightaway. Mescal Jr. now getting a good shove to the point. He's going to go to the lead and do it so by a couple of car lengths. As Spalding now, look for Spalding possibly to set him up and dive to the bottom. That's what he does. Joshua Spalding's going to go back to the point and lead with 11 laps to go. Spalding to the bottom of the racetrack. Man, oh man, did he get shot out of a cannon. A big run for Spalding, and it's going to put him about a good 4 car lengths out front. But at Daytona, that is not such a good thing, as it looks like here comes Brian Littleton, and Stephen Page is going to give him a big run to the backside. Off of turn 4. Oh, and here comes Page. Page to the inside wall. Hard hit. And Stephen Page has crashed into the inside retaining wall. Smoke coming out of the front of that number 1 machine. And I am not seeing the caution flag still with 10 laps to go. It started to look like some of the drivers were coming to pit road, and Mitchell Snare and Joshua Spalding did, as a matter of fact, come to pit road, but no caution flag has flown. And unfortunately, Stephen Page has some significant damage to that number 1 machine. As we take a look, Mitchell Snare just clipped him. I don't know if he was planning to go to pit road or what happened, but man, what hard contact out of turn 4. No caution flag. There you see it again. Watch this. Oh, hard contact to that inside retaining wall for Stephen Page. But as we said that, no caution flag, and we are still racing. Brian Mescal Jr., Brian Littleton. Now here they come to pit road. They are going to come to pit road, and we will take a look and see Joshua Spalding right there. He is going to assume the lead out of turn number 4, but I do believe, yes, as looking back to Mitchell Snare, he's going to be by himself as he is going to come up to speed. You'll see him just in a moment come in your screen as Brian Mescal Jr. is the leader. Brian Littleton second, but you should be seeing Joshua Spalding. There he is. He is at full speed. So look for him to go around our leader right now. It'll be Joshua Spalding out front with 9 laps to go. The matter of fact now is, can Brian Mescal Jr. and the rest of this field run him down one at a time? Because out of turn 4, Spalding has a pretty good lead coming to the trial. Still don't see Brian Mescal Jr. He is 2 seconds back. So there's a look at Mescal Jr. Can he catch the 48? We've got 8 laps to go. Yeah, as you can see there, we'll take a look, see if we can't see a little bit of a gap. There is Mescal Jr. There is Joshua Spalding. That is the gap that 33 is going to have to make up here in 8 laps. Can he do it? I don't see a lot of drafting help for either. Because Brian Littleton, he's all the way back to right there. He is 4 seconds back. Don't see a lot of help for either of these drivers, so we will see how the next 7 laps are going to shake out as off of turn number 4. Joshua Spalding, last week's winner. He's won 2 of the last 3 races, trying to make it 3 of the last 4 in that 48 machine. He's got 7 laps to go. Seven laps to go in that number 48 machine. He has had an awesome night tonight, as there you see him come down the back straightaway. A great effort for that 48 machine all throughout the evening. A good vantage point out of the back bumper and out of turn 4. Make it 6 laps to go. 6 circuits left here at Daytona. Going to use a little bit of that draft. Looks like he's going to pull up the back bumper of Michael Mason-Gill and get a little bit of drafting help as he goes to the bottom. I was looking to that advantage. It is now a 4-second gap back to Brian Mescal Jr. As take a look now. Brian Mescal's found a little bit of help, but is it too late? Mescal Jr. has found Brian Littleton, but out of turn 4, it's going to be only 5 circuits left. 5 to go for Joshua Spalding out of turn 4. So will it be enough? That is going to be the question. With only 5 circuits left now, it is a 3-second advantage for Joshua Spalding over Brian Mescal Jr. And you know they've got to be communicating. Their crew chiefs have got to be communicating, telling them what they need to do as Spalding now comes off of turn 2. Mescal Jr. and Littleton's off of turn 2. That gap's starting to close. Only 3.5 seconds now. 4 laps left. You got to be thinking that Spalding has got that thing floored as fast as it will go. Out of turn 4. There you see Carl Meadows coming underneath you. And there goes Joshua Spalding underneath the box. Here comes Littleton and Mescal Jr. out of turn number 4 and through the tri-oval. It is now down to 2 seconds. There you see second place and third, and there you see our leader. 4 laps to go. Can Joshua Spalding hang on? He's going to have to do so on his own. By the way, Steve Baker has rallied back up to 5th. Good rally for Steve Baker, that 55 machine out of Raleigh, North Carolina. After that incident off of turn 4, he has rallied back up to 5th. Damon Cox, solid for him in the 4th spot right now. 3 laps to go out of turn 4. Three laps to go for our leader, Josh Spalding. And you look, and I'm not seeing Brian Mescal Jr. Has something happened to the 33 machine? Turn 3. Oh, it did. Brian Mescal Jr. hard off of turn 4 into the infield grass. Not sure what happened there. Don't know if there was any contact or not, but needless to say, he is in the pits, and this is going to leave Joshua Spalding out, and I'm looking for Brian Littleton, and he has got a big gap back to second. So coming out of turn 4 this time, it looks like 2 laps to go. You can see Littleton now starting to come into the picture, but is it going to be enough? Hoping to maybe pull some of the draft off of that 31 machine, but right now it is still a 2-second gap back to Brian Littleton. Next time by, it'll be the white flag. And now Steve Baker has rallied up to 3rd, so that 55 machine just got around Damon Cox a few minutes ago. Now Doug Wasaki will get around Damon. And Steve Baker now up to the 3rd spot, but there is the man of the hour. And out of turn 4, the white flag will fly one final time as Brian Littleton now. Only thing between him and Joshua Spalding is air. One final time around the Daytona International Speedway. There is the gap. Spalding showing the way. Winner of 2 of our last 3 races, hunting for 3 of the last 4. And down the back straightaway, the 48 of Joshua Spalding. Oh, and he washed up high there a little bit. Not sure if there was a reason to go up to that outside line, but right now he has the advantage. Not seeing Brian Littleton in tow. And out of turn 4, for the 3rd time this season, and for the 3rd time in 4 races, the 48 is going to go to victory lane at his home track. It is Joshua Spalding winning at Daytona and picking up the Pepsi Firecracker 70. Joshua Spalding, what a way to pick up the win here at Daytona as the Firecrackers fire off here at Daytona International Speedway. There you see him in the distance. The Pepsi Firecracker 70 from Daytona goes to the hometown boy. What a race for that 48 machine as we see him come through 3 and 4, and I am just about certain there's going to be a big celebration. And there you see Steve Baker's going to come up and give him a little bit of shot in the shorts. They work together through most of this race, and it looks like Baker is going to rally to finish 3rd. And here we see Joshua Spalding coming to the front straightaway, looking to burn it down at his home track here at Daytona. Loops it around in celebration, and what a way to celebrate. 3 wins in the last 4 races as Joshua Spalding is going to victory lane here at Daytona. We'll have post-race show coverage coming up. We'll talk with our top 3 right after this.
There you see Dale Earnhardt, defending champion, a man who has won here at this racetrack. He has been absolutely second to none in 1987.
Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win, his 4th win of 1987 out of 6. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Everyone's wondering what can stop Dale Earnhardt. He's on a roll, 4 wins and 6 starts. I mean, is there anybody can handle you?
Is there maybe a little more here underneath the sheet metal?
Well, I'm sure this afternoon we'll know a lot more, and we got 500 miles to run. We'll see what happens.
Good luck today.
Our magnificent 19th annual $500,000 Talladega 500 is won by Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott, and the siren is beginning to ring. You'll probably hear it in Dahlonega. Bill Elliott has won. Davey Allison second.
Elliott now getting a challenge from Tim Richmond, but he closes again right in behind Earnhardt, coming down off turn 4. And Earnhardt loses it, goes on the grass, comes back, and Elliott goes in
Dale Earnhardt is reminding Mr. Elliott, you make one mess up like that, and I might get through.
When you come to North Wilkesboro on a short racetrack, you expect some fender to fender and even some paint trading going on out there. We've seen it already as Brett Bodine gave Jerry Kramer a nudge in the rear end, and now we're seeing some great competition out there between Dale Earnhardt and Bill.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, where there you see celebration / demolition derby going on at the start-finish line as they celebrate here from Daytona International Speedway. What a night it was as we get ready to talk to our top three. Finishing third in the event tonight, our current points leader, and, well, I feel like a guy that had a really good race up until that halfway point. Our third-place finisher, Steve Baker. Baker, man, a good rally after that incident off of Turn 4. Believe it or not, salvaged quite a few points tonight and still got a podium finish. Well, man, another good, solid finish. Taking a look at this year, just shocking to see how you've been able to just make things happen. This being your 8th top 5 in 10 starts. Man, when you take a look back at this season, you've got to be, I know you've probably feeling you've got the ability to do this week in and week out, but you got to look back. This has been an impressive season. Well, man, before we let you go, tell us about the folks on the side of that race car. All right, man, congratulations, and thanks for chatting with us. D. Baker, third place finish. Crazy to think he got that car rallied back to third the way he did, but he was able to survive and get back up to the front. Runner-up, haven't got to talk to this guy quite a bit this year. Let's talk to our runner-up finisher. That is Brian Littleton. Brian out of Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. Man, good to talk to you. Good way to get things wrapped up here at Daytona with a second place finish. Well, man, this has been a fun series to watch all season. Talk about driving these classic cars. A lot of people say they're a handful.
Well, man, we don't get we haven't got to chat with you a lot this year, so give you the opportunity to tell about some folks on that race car, and who do you want to thank? Well, man, we appreciate you chatting with us. Congratulations on a second-place finish and a good bit of momentum going to Talladega next week. That is Brian Littleton, our runner-up tonight here from Daytona, and wrapping it up to close out our racing tonight. This guy has, I will say this guy has been maybe the hottest driver on the circuit right now. When you take a look at the schedule, winning 3 of the last 4 races. I'm talking about the 48 of Joshua Spalding. Joshua, man, a win in your hometown. You got to be pleased with that. Well, let's talk about this race. You could kind of see as things were unfolding, you and Steve kind of had a game plan. We could see you all working together throughout the night. That incident with him out of turn 4 kind of shook things up a little bit. And tell us kind of the plan after that. You kind of fell back to 5th or 6th, but then rallied late. Well, man, that advantage you had almost a full straightaway. The 33 and the 80 started to work together. I know they closed up within about 2 seconds. The 33 had some trouble, and you was able to hang on even with Littleton in the rearview mirror. These kind of races, kind of interesting there towards the end when they were working together. We were watching that gap shrink, but you were still able to bring this thing home in victory lane. As I mentioned, maybe the hottest driver right now on the circuit. The last time you or Steve didn't go to victory lane was on October the 13th. You've won 3 of our last 4 races. Definitely the momentum's in your hands going into Talladega next weekend. Well, man, we know you got some folks to thank. Tell us about them. For sure, one of the hottest drivers on the circuit right now, Joshua Spalding, winner here of the Pepsi Firecracker 70 from Daytona. Congratulations, man. Indeed. Next week, we close out the season at the Talladega Super Speedway as we get ready to put a wrap on the 2020 RFC Throwback Series season. And with that being said, well, it is time to close things up here from Daytona. And we do so with tonight's finishing order. And it goes a little bit of something like this. Closing out tonight with the win, 3rd win in 4 races. As we mentioned, Joshua Spalding finishes in the top spot. Taking a look at 2nd, it was Brian Littleton. Qualifying screen popped up. You got to love when that happens. At least the top 2 were right. Steve Baker in 3rd, Doug Wasaki 4th. Damon Cox, the Iron Man, rounds out the top 5. Mitchell Snare 6th. Justin Walters rallied to finish 7th. Stephen Page, after his trouble early in the race, 8th. Michael Mason-Gill, he's going to get a top 10 out of this. He's going to finish 9th. Chad Meadows, 10th. Brian Maskell Jr. with that late race incident finishes 11th. Gary Ragland, 12th. Eric Blunt 13th, and David Worrells will wrap out the field in 14th. Well, with that being said, one race remains. Next week, we head to the biggest and baddest track on the circuit. It's championship night next week from Talladega. I'm Cody Early. Thanks for spending time with us tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tune in next time for more of the RFC Throwback Series, presented by Ohio and Indiana Roofing and Blackhawk Motorsports.